The night had a weight to it that pressed against the edges of consciousness, a heavy, unspoken energy that vibrated in quiet harmony with the universe's unseen currents. Capricorn, you have walked a path lined with mountains whose peaks disappeared into clouds, valleys shadowed by uncertainty, and storms that seemed endless, yet each step was never in vain. The small whispers of intuition you've ignored, the repeated numbers, the keys you overlooked, the doors you passed without noticing, all of it has been a symphony of preparation. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close, because what stirs now is the beginning of a movement so profound that your past struggles will pale in comparison. Every hardship you endured was never punishment. Each delay, each betrayal, each moment when the world seemed blind to your efforts was a careful sculpting of your patience and discernment. Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and imprisoned for crimes he did not commit, walked a similar path. Every trial was a careful preparation, a lesson in resilience and divine timing. Your own journey, Capricorn, mirrors this, each invisible thread weaving you closer to the sudden wealth and recognition that awaits. Follow this message if it's pulling at you, because these forces have been quietly shaping your ascent. There was a woman, a Capricorn much like you, who spent years in obscurity crafting small handmade wares. Her days were filled with unnoticed effort, her nights with quiet doubt. One evening, she discovered a forgotten ledger behind a shelf, containing a contact that had admired her work in secret for years. That single discovery became the spark that ignited a fortune capable of transforming her life and the lives of generations to follow. Capricorn, your hidden keys, your unnoticed efforts, and the shadows you have crossed are all converging toward a moment equally transformative. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. The storms you have faced, both literal and figurative, were never meaningless. Each gust that knocked you off balance, every lightning strike of fear, every downpour of loss, all have honed your resilience. Edison failed thousands of times before the filament glowed, before the world understood the value of his labor. Each failure, each moment of despair, was an essential step towards sudden elevation. Your trials have served the same purpose, sharpening your intuition and readiness for the fortune that now edges closer, invisible yet inevitable. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. The smallest details of your environment have become signs. A phrase overheard in a cafe, a billboard glimpsed in passing, a number that repeats across days, all are markers. Oprah Winfrey noticed these alignments early, sensing patterns others overlooked, and they guided her to opportunity that would change the course of her life. Capricorn, your own environment is echoing these signals now. They are subtle but powerful, the unseen scaffolding preparing you to claim a fortune that has been carefully concealed until this exact moment. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Mountains that once seemed immovable now show faint trails, carved for those who observe with patience. Locked doors shift under the gentlest touch, keys that were irrelevant now resonate with hidden power, and shadows retreat to reveal paths previously unseen. A Capricorn entrepreneur, dismissed by his industry for decades, discovered a market niche hidden in plain sight, and in a sudden move, his fortunes transformed. Your own life mirrors this preparation. Every act of patience, every moment of unseen labor, positions you to step through a threshold of wealth long promised but not yet realized. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. Even shadows bear messages now. Rooms ignored for years begin to pulse with a quiet energy, keys respond faintly in your hand, and doors that seemed immovable begin to shift subtly. An inventor, long overlooked, dreamed of a hidden chamber and later discovered that it contained materials critical to a breakthrough invention that launched his fortune. Capricorn, your perception, your intuition, your patience are now aligned with reality, guiding you to revelation and wealth. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Pressure builds within you, a quiet tightening that signals the presence of forces converging. A Capricorn woman felt this tension months before a sudden inheritance changed her life entirely. This pressure is not a warning but a herald, a vibration announcing the imminent arrival of what you have labored for in silence. Your preparation, your endurance, and your quiet vigilance are converging with this energy, marking the precipice of transformation. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. Ordinary spaces now resonate with extraordinary significance. Shadows reveal hidden trails, keys hum softly, mountains seem to respond to your intent. Historical and biblical figures, visionaries, and entrepreneurs all experienced this alignment before sudden elevation. A Capricorn discovered a neglected opportunity that became the foundation of her family fortune. The same forces are aligning in your life now. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. Currents of destiny quicken. Doors tremble, keys hum faintly, shadows bend, and mountains shiver in recognition. Every unnoticed effort you made in silence now becomes the framework for sudden wealth. A Capricorn, overlooked for years, discovered a forgotten contract that transformed his financial reality in a matter of weeks. The threads of your labor, patience, and discernment are now being woven into life-altering opportunity. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Storms have become allies rather than enemies. Winds now clear obstacles, rains wash away delays, lightning illuminates hidden paths. Joseph's journey in Egypt reflects this pattern, decades of hardship and obscurity preceding sudden wealth and authority. Your own trials, Capricorn, have been calibrated for this precise moment, and the signs of manifestation are becoming tangible. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. Emotional currents swell as your breakthrough approaches. Clarity, anticipation, inexplicable joy, tension, and intuition mark the moments just before sudden fortune arrives. Visionaries, innovators, and historical figures all report this exact pattern, a heralding vibration preceding life-altering elevation. Capricorn, your spirit is tuned to these currents, ready to receive the wealth that has been decades in preparation. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. Circumstances now align with quiet inevitability. Repeated coincidences, responsive shadows, resonating keys, and shifting mountains all signal that a threshold is near. One Capricorn artist stumbled upon a forgotten studio that launched her global recognition and fortune. Your life mirrors this orchestration, silent labor, patience, and discipline converging into transformative wealth. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Destiny reaches a crescendo. Every delay, every trial, every subtle signal has been deliberate preparation. Innovators, biblical figures, and entrepreneurs all endured obscurity before sudden elevation. Capricorn, unseen forces are orchestrating your life, preparing to deliver wealth that will redefine your family legacy. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. The first tangible threads of fortune brush against your awareness. Keys vibrate, doors shift, shadows bow, and mountains tremble. Real-life Capricorns, prophets, and visionaries have all described this precise moment, the threshold of life-altering wealth. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. In the silence that follows, when everything seems suspended, the first shimmer of fortune grazes you. The key long ignored glows faintly, the door long sealed stirs imperceptibly, and a shaft of light escapes through the gap, delicate but undeniable. Mountains tremble, shadows bow, winds hold their breath, and you are poised at the edge of revelation, the culmination of decades of labor, patience, and quiet endurance. The magnitude of what is about to unfold hangs in the air, ready to transform everything. The morning air carried a strange weight, almost imperceptible but undeniable, vibrating with possibilities that only the most attuned could feel. Capricorn, you have been walking a path littered with invisible signposts, markers that whispered of a future the world could not see. The mountains you climbed in silence, the storms that battered your spirit, the shadows you crossed alone, they were never random. Each moment was preparation, every struggle an invisible key being forged for a door you have not yet dared to open. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close, because the currents surrounding you are shifting in ways you cannot yet comprehend. Every delay, every betrayal, every moment when the world overlooked you has served a purpose you have only begun to sense. Like Joseph cast into a pit, sold into slavery, and imprisoned for what he did not do, your unseen endurance is shaping you for sudden elevation. Those who walk your path often labor in silence, their efforts unnoticed, yet they accumulate an unseen weight of readiness. Follow this message if it's pulling at you, because the moment now approaching carries the quiet power to overturn what seemed permanent, to rewrite your life in a single stroke. There was a Capricorn man, unknown and dismissed for decades, who lived in obscurity while crafting intricate inventions no one noticed. Every evening, his fingers worked tirelessly on tools and sketches that appeared insignificant. Then, one day, a forgotten connection resurfaced, a simple email lost in a digital void, unlocking an opportunity that propelled him to fame and fortune. Your own life, Capricorn, is threaded with similar invisible connections, keys and doors hidden within your daily labor, now aligning to reveal sudden wealth and recognition. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. Storms have been your teachers, though they often came uninvited. Each gust of wind that tore through your plans, each unexpected downpour of loss or disappointment, each lightning strike of betrayal has been sculpting your resilience, sharpening your discernment. Edison's thousands of failed experiments were not failures. They were carefully arranged lessons that culminated in illumination for the world. Your own setbacks mirror this pattern, each one a step toward a breakthrough that is quietly forming, invisible to the untrained eye, but inevitable in its arrival. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. The universe has spoken to you in whispers, in numbers that repeat, doors that appear at the perfect time, and shadows that stretch just long enough to obscure and then reveal. Oprah Winfrey recognized similar patterns early in her life, using these subtle alignments to navigate toward opportunities that would change her destiny. Capricorn, your environment now pulses with the same hidden energy. Symbols, synchronicities, and subtle shifts are getting you to the threshold of fortune long concealed, waiting for your recognition. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Mountains once immovable now bear faint, almost invisible trails, carved for those patient enough to notice. Keys previously discarded resonate with purpose, doors that seemed locked now respond to quiet attention, and shadows bend aside to reveal previously hidden opportunities. A Capricorn entrepreneur, overlooked by the industry for decades, discovered a dormant niche that launched him into sudden prominence and financial elevation. Your life mirrors this orchestration, every quiet act of perseverance positioning you to step through a door that has been waiting for your arrival. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. Even the shadows now carry guidance. Rooms long ignored pulse with energy, keys hum faintly in your grasp, and doors tremble in recognition of your presence. A man long overlooked dreamed of a hidden chamber and discovered that it contained components vital for an invention that would transform his fortune. Capricorn, your intuition and patient labor are now aligned with these forces, guiding you toward wealth and revelation. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Pressure rises within, subtle yet insistent, felt as tension in the chest, a stirring beneath the surface of consciousness. A Capricorn woman experienced this rising force just months before a sudden inheritance changed the course of her life. Pressure is not punishment, it is the herald of arrival, a vibration signaling the convergence of all the preparation, patience, and unseen labor that has shaped you. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. Even ordinary spaces now carry extraordinary significance. Shadows reveal hidden trails, keys vibrate with intention, mountains quiver with acknowledgement. Historical figures, biblical prophets, and visionary entrepreneurs have all described this alignment prior to sudden elevation. One Capricorn discovered a long-neglected contract that became the foundation of a family fortune, and the same hidden currents are now aligning for you. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. Currents of destiny accelerate, doors tremble, keys resonate, shadows bow, and mountains bend in subtle recognition. Every effort made in silence now forms the scaffold for sudden wealth. A Capricorn, overlooked for years, discovered a forgotten agreement that transformed his financial reality almost overnight. The invisible threads of your life, Capricorn, are now being woven into a tapestry of fortune that will emerge with unmistakable clarity. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Storms are no longer your enemies, but instruments shaping your ascent. Winds clear obstacles, rains wash away delay, lightning illuminates hidden paths. Joseph's trajectory in Egypt reflects this pattern, years of obscurity preceding sudden wealth and authority. Your own trials, Capricorn, have been calibrated for this precise moment, and the first signs of manifestation are brushing against your awareness, subtle yet undeniable. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. Emotions swell in anticipation of what is near. Waves of clarity, sudden insight, tension, and inexplicable joy mark the moments preceding transformative elevation. Visionaries and innovators across history have experienced this precise pattern, the quiet heralding vibration of imminent fortune. Capricorn, your spirit is attuned to these currents, ready to receive the wealth that has been decades in preparation. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. Circumstances now converge with quiet inevitability. Repeated coincidences, responsive shadows, vibrating keys, and shifting mountains indicate that a threshold is near. One Capricorn artist stumbled upon a forgotten studio, and this discovery catapulted her to global recognition and fortune. Your life mirrors this orchestration, the silent labor of years converging into transformative opportunity. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Destiny begins to crescendo. Every delay, every struggle, every subtle sign has been precise preparation. Innovators, prophets, and entrepreneurs all endured obscurity before sudden elevation. Capricorn, the unseen forces are orchestrating your life, preparing to deliver wealth that will leave a legacy for generations. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. The first tangible threads of wealth brush against your awareness. Keys vibrate faintly, doors respond to intention, shadows bend, and mountains shift imperceptibly. Real-life Capricorns, prophets, and historical figures have all described this exact moment, the threshold of life-altering fortune. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. In the silence that envelopes the world, when everything seems suspended, the first shimmer of opportunity grazes your life. The long-forgotten key glows faintly, the door that appeared immovable stirs with recognition, and a thin shaft of light pierces through, fragile yet undeniable. Mountains quiver, shadows bow, the wind holds its breath, and you stand poised at the edge of revelation, the culmination of decades of patience, labor, and quiet vigilance. The immense transformation that is about to unfold hovers just beyond perception, waiting to manifest fully. A dense, almost tangible quiet hung over the world as dawn approached, the kind of silence that carries weight and expectation, the kind that whispers truths only a few can hear. Capricorn, you have wandered paths shadowed by doubts, peaks of mountains that seemed insurmountable, and valleys so deep they threatened to swallow your resolve. Every step you took, every decision made in solitude, every challenge endured in silence was not random. Each moment, though it felt ordinary or even punishing, was a thread weaving the fabric of your unseen ascent. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close, because the currents converging around you are older than time itself and more deliberate than you could have imagined. The storms that battered your resolve, both inside and around you, were shaping you like a sculptor chiseling stone. Every betrayal, every delay, every moment of unacknowledged labor is a silent refining fire. Consider the life of Joseph, sold into slavery by those closest to him, imprisoned for innocence, and yet elevated to govern a nation because every trial prepared him for a destiny too grand to perceive at the time. Capricorn, your own path mirrors this divine pattern. The obstacles, the setbacks, the silent frustrations are in truth keys to the doors that will soon swing wide, though you have not yet seen the hinges. There was a Capricorn woman whose days were consumed by quiet work in a small, unremarkable space, her efforts unnoticed by the world, her gifts unappreciated. One evening, a neglected connection, an email long lost, a letter forgotten, returned to her life like a beacon, and in that single alignment of unseen forces, her quiet labor exploded into recognition, influence, and wealth. Your story, Capricorn, is threaded with these same invisible currents, opportunities concealed in the shadows, doors that have been waiting for your patience, keys hidden in your own endurance. Follow this message if it's pulling at you, because your own revelation is quietly stirring. Every moment of despair you endured carried a signal of what was to come. Thomas Edison's countless failed experiments were not failures, they were invisible steps toward a world-changing illumination. Every trial you faced, every disappointment, every moment when life seemed cruel or indifferent has been refining your perception, patience, and readiness for what is now approaching. Storms and shadows are no longer adversaries, they are your tutors, shaping you for a moment that has been prepared since the inception of your spirit. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. Look closely at your surroundings, for they are beginning to speak in subtle ways. Numbers, coincidences, doors that appear at just the right moment, keys that suddenly feel heavier with significance. These are the language of destiny. Oprah Winfrey noticed these invisible alignments and used them to navigate toward opportunities that transformed her life. Capricorn, your own environment is alive with the same energy, getting you to thresholds of fortune and influence that have long been hidden from plain sight. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. For every shadow now conceals a doorway, and every whispered intuition carries the weight of unseen preparation. The mountains that once seemed insurmountable now hum with quiet possibilities. Keys that were once inert in your hands begin to resonate, doors that appeared permanently locked now shiver with anticipation, and shadows that seem to obscure paths now bend and retreat. A Capricorn man, long overlooked by society, discovered a neglected opportunity, hidden in plain sight, that propelled him to sudden prominence and wealth. Your life, Capricorn, mirrors this orchestration. The patience, the silent labor, the unnoticed endurance, all converge toward a moment where a door that has been waiting for years will yield to your grasp. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Even shadows carry guidance now, bending toward revelation. Rooms once ignored vibrate with hidden energy, keys hum faintly in response to your presence, and doors shift imperceptibly as if acknowledging your readiness. A visionary, unnoticed for decades, discovered a chamber filled with components that became the foundation of a fortune. Capricorn, your own intuition is now aligned with forces that have been silently orchestrating this moment. Remain connected here, your path is shifting, because the moment of awakening is brushing against your life, subtle but inevitable. Pressure rises within, a quiet, unrelenting vibration in the chest and the mind, signaling that alignment is near. A Capricorn woman felt this subtle tightening just months before an unexpected inheritance transformed her existence. This is no random tension. It is a herald of arrival, a quiet tremor of the immense forces converging around your life, bringing the culmination of preparation, endurance, and unacknowledged labor into a tangible, transformative moment. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. Ordinary spaces have begun to pulse with extraordinary significance. Shadows curve to reveal hidden paths, keys vibrate with latent energy, mountains shift subtly in acknowledgement of your presence. Historical figures, prophets, and visionary entrepreneurs have all experienced this pattern just before their ascent to prominence. A Capricorn artist once stumbled upon a forgotten studio that became the launching point of a global fortune. Your own path now mirrors this invisible orchestration, patient labor, quiet diligence, and unseen perseverance, aligning with forces far greater than you can yet perceive. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Currents of destiny quicken and coalesce. Doors tremble, keys resonate faintly, shadows bow, and mountains stir subtly as if in recognition. Every unnoticed effort of yours now forms the invisible scaffold of sudden wealth. A Capricorn, overlooked for decades, found a forgotten document that propelled him to financial prominence almost overnight. The threads of your labor, your patience, your unwavering focus are now being woven into a reality that will manifest in ways undeniable and transformative. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. Storms have become allies, winds clearing paths, rains washing away obstructions, lightning revealing unseen routes. Joseph's elevation in Egypt was preceded by years of obscurity, trials, and silent labor. Your own journey, Capricorn, has mirrored this pattern. The signs of manifestation are now brushing against your life, subtle yet undeniable, signaling that the threshold of wealth, influence, and transformation is at last visible to your awareness. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. Emotions swell as the transformative moment approaches. Clarity, tension, exhilaration, and subtle joy signal the presence of forces converging. Visionaries, innovators, and prophets across history have all experienced this crescendo before life-altering elevation. Capricorn, your spirit is attuned to these currents, ready to receive the culmination of decades of preparation, labor, and patience. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Circumstances now converge in near-perfect alignment. Repeated coincidences, responsive shadows, vibrating keys, and shifting mountains mark the approach of a threshold. One Capricorn artist stumbled upon a forgotten studio, and this alignment became the genesis of her global fortune. Your life mirrors this same orchestration, Capricorn, decades of unseen labor, patience, and quiet preparation now converging into a singular moment of revelation. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. Destiny reaches a rising pitch. Every delay, every hardship, every overlooked opportunity has been deliberate preparation. Innovators, prophets, and historical figures endured obscurity before sudden elevation. Capricorn, the unseen forces guiding your life, are preparing to deliver wealth and influence that will redefine not only your existence, but the legacy of those who follow. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. The first tangible threads of fortune begin to brush against your awareness. Keys vibrate faintly, doors shift subtly, shadows retreat, and mountains acknowledge your readiness. Real-life Capricorns, historical figures, and visionaries all describe this moment, the threshold of life-altering fortune, the precise juncture where preparation and destiny intersect. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. In the stillness that blankets the world, when every breath seems held, the first shimmer of opportunity grazes your life. The long-forgotten key glows faintly, the door that once seemed unyielding quivers, and a fragile shaft of light penetrates through, delicate yet undeniably present. Mountains tremble subtly, shadows bow, and the wind itself seems to pause as you stand poised at the precipice of revelation. Decades of patience, labor, and silent endurance converge in this exact moment. The full magnitude of what is about to unfold hangs suspended, palpable yet just beyond comprehension, waiting to erupt into the reality that has long been promised. The dawn stretched its first fragile fingers across the horizon, spilling a muted light over the world, as if testing the readiness of those it touched. Capricorn, your days of silent endurance, your labor in shadows, your patient watching while others rushed ahead, these are all threads woven into the tapestry that now begins to shimmer with unseen anticipation. Each moment of seeming stagnation, each door that refused to open, every storm that tore at your resolve, has been aligning you with forces older than memory, more deliberate than human comprehension. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close, because the winds that stir your path now carry more than air. They carry the charge of destiny itself. You have been walking through landscapes of expectation and disappointment, through mountains that loomed as obstacles and valleys that seemed endless. Yet in each shadow there has been a signal, in each delay a secret instruction. Consider the journey of Daniel, cast into a den of lions for his unwavering faith, yet preserved and elevated because every trial was a preparation for influence beyond his understanding. Capricorn, your unseen preparation mirrors this divine orchestration. Your patience, discipline, and quiet labor are now the unseen keys to doors that have long waited to swing wide. Follow this message if it's pulling at you, for the threshold of revelation is near. There is a Capricorn whose life was defined by quiet diligence, a man whose inventions and ideas were repeatedly overlooked, whose nights were spent in obscurity while the world slept. One evening, a single overlooked correspondence returned to him, and with it came recognition, opportunity, and wealth that had been seeded in his persistence decades prior. Your own life, Capricorn, is threaded with similar hidden currents, keys buried in your endurance, doors formed from your patience, and shadows that have been shaping your readiness. Remain connected here, your path is shifting, because these currents are moving now with subtle but unmistakable force. Every trial you have endured has carried a concealed purpose. Every betrayal, every disappointment, every moment when your efforts went unnoticed has been an instrument of refinement. Thomas Edison did not fail 1,000 times, he simply rehearsed the steps to illumination. Every challenge that seemed insurmountable, every setback that seemed unexplainable, has been forging your readiness, sharpening your insight, preparing you for a convergence that is now brushing against your life. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close, because the currents that once seemed indifferent now pulse in rhythm with your being. Your surroundings have begun to speak in subtle, coded ways. Patterns emerge in numbers, synchronicities appear in the mundane, shadows bend to reveal hidden paths, doors shift imperceptibly at your approach. Oprah Winfrey recognized these currents early in her life, using them as signposts to navigate toward opportunities that would change the trajectory of her existence. Capricorn, the same hidden alignments are orchestrating your journey. Every unnoticed detail, every faint vibration of intuition carries a message of elevation and wealth. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Mountains that once seemed immovable now hum faintly with possibility. Keys that were inert in your hands begin to resonate, doors that were sealed respond subtly to your presence, and shadows that once obscured your path now retreat, revealing hidden corridors. A Capricorn entrepreneur, overlooked by peers for decades, stumbled upon a long-forgotten contract, a document that became the foundation for unprecedented fortune. Your life, Capricorn, mirrors this design. Every act of patient labor, every sacrifice, every step taken in quiet persistence is now converging into the moment of transformative elevation. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. Even the shadows you once feared now carry guidance. Rooms long ignored vibrate with potential, keys hum with unseen energy, and doors acknowledge your readiness to step through. A visionary inventor, dismissed by society, discovered a chamber of forgotten materials that catalyzed a life-changing creation. Capricorn, your endurance and intuition are now aligned with these subtle currents, each one preparing to reveal the wealth and recognition that has been long awaited. Follow this message if it's pulling at you, because the emergence of your fortune is approaching with quiet inevitability. Pressure rises, subtle yet insistent, a tension felt in the chest, a stir in the mind, signaling that alignment is near. A Capricorn woman experienced this pressure just weeks before a sudden inheritance transformed her life. This is not random discomfort, it is the herald of arrival, the vibration of converging forces, the quiet announcement that the preparation of decades is now ready to manifest. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close, because the moment of revelation is brushing against the edges of your awareness. Ordinary spaces are revealing extraordinary significance. Shadows bend to expose hidden trails, keys resonate faintly, mountains shift imperceptibly in acknowledgement. Historical figures, biblical prophets, and visionary entrepreneurs have all experienced this alignment prior to sudden elevation. One Capricorn, unnoticed for years, discovered a forgotten studio that became the launching point of global recognition and fortune. Your own life mirrors this orchestration. Patient labor, quiet diligence, and unseen endurance now intersect with forces far greater than you have yet realized. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. The currents of destiny accelerate. Doors tremble, keys resonate, shadows bow, and mountains shift subtly. Every quiet effort now forms the scaffold for sudden wealth. A Capricorn, overlooked for decades, found a neglected opportunity that catapulted him to financial prominence almost overnight. The threads of your life, Capricorn, woven from patience, focus, and unacknowledged labor, are now converging into a tapestry that will manifest in ways undeniable and transformative. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Storms are no longer enemies, but instruments shaping your ascent. Winds clear obstructions, rains wash away delay, lightning illuminates unseen paths. Joseph's journey in Egypt from the pit to prominence mirrors this pattern. Years of obscurity precede sudden elevation. Your trials, Capricorn, have been calibrated for this precise moment, and the first signs of manifestation are brushing against your life, subtle yet unmistakable. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. Emotions swell as the moment of transformation approaches. Tides of clarity, joy, tension, and inexplicable insight mark the prelude to elevation. Visionaries, innovators, and prophets across history have described this crescendo, the quiet heralding vibration of imminent fortune. Capricorn, your spirit is attuned to these currents, ready to receive the manifestation that has been long prepared. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. Circumstances now converge with a near-perfect alignment. Synchronicities repeat, shadows bend, keys vibrate, and mountains shift imperceptibly. One Capricorn artist, overlooked for decades, stumbled upon a neglected studio that became the source of her global fortune. Your life mirrors this orchestration. Years of patient labor, quiet persistence, and unseen preparation now converging into a moment of revelation that will redefine your existence. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Destiny rises to a crescendo. Every delay, every hardship, every overlooked opportunity has been deliberate preparation. Innovators, prophets, and historical figures all endured obscurity before sudden elevation. Capricorn, the forces surrounding you are preparing to deliver wealth, recognition, and influence that will not only transform your life, but set the foundation for generations to come. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. The first tangible threads of fortune now graze your awareness. Keys vibrate faintly, doors shift subtly, shadows retreat, and mountains acknowledge your presence. Real-life Capricorns, historical figures, and visionary entrepreneurs have all described this moment, the threshold where preparation and destiny intersect, where wealth and influence manifest suddenly. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. In the stillness that blankets the world, when every heartbeat seems suspended, the first shimmer of opportunity brushes against your life. A long-forgotten key glows faintly, a door that seemed immovable quivers, and a fragile beam of light pierces the shadows. Mountains tremble subtly, shadows bow, the wind holds its breath, and you stand poised at the edge of revelation. Decades of patience, labor, and silent endurance converge in this exact moment. The full magnitude of what is about to unfold hangs suspended, fragile yet undeniable, ready to erupt into the reality that has long been promised.